What's going on, Second Floor listeners? It's Qashus here, and we are back with another feature episode bringing to you Ross Storoshenko. Ross Storoshenko is one of my good friends. I've known him since high school, and he is innovating the real estate game. This episode, we talk about a lot to do with investments, how to invest as a millennial, how to save your financials, cash flow, and just being a business owner, an entrepreneur. So for our listeners who are listening, who are interested in investing, who maybe have questions on investments, on real estate investment particularly, this is the episode for you. We talk about strategy, we talk about our own personal investments, how we have been tackling certain problems and issues, what to do with your first home, buying your first home. These are some of the topics that we mention and talk about. And Ross is an innovator in the real estate game right now. With his company, Edmonton House Hunters, with his partner, they're doing a lot of exciting things, also in the media space, on their website, a lot of exciting things that Ross talks about. And so I get to have a chance to pick his brain in this episode. So those who are interested in investments, make sure to tune in. We always talk about how to survive, how to thrive, and keep the good vibes going in your life and business. Let's tune in. Ross, thank you for coming onto the Second Floor, my man.
Thank you for having me, man. Ever since you guys started, first of all, amazing work.
Thank you.
What you and Kenny have done, everyone's got to know. You guys are so driven, and what you guys are doing, sharing the positivity. Thank you for having me on. I'm excited.
Dude, I know I wanted you on for a little bit here. We tried getting you on a couple times, but then,
COVID?
Then COVID happened and everything just took a 360. So, so thank you for coming. Wanted to kind of get into it now. Let's kind of speak on, a little bit of your story.
Sure.
And kind of give the people of the Second Floor who listen to us a little bit of your background.
Sure.
And we'll get into kind of, investing, real estate, kind of the stuff for the millennials and people that have a hard time, saving.
Yeah, for sure. So we can get into all that. I mean, not just real estate investing, all of it.
Yeah.
So third generation realtor. My dad did it. My grandpa did it. I never knew that I was wanting to be in real estate. I think a lot of people have an opinion that real estate agents just greasy and like slime ballish kind of thing. So I never knew I wanted to get into it. Started out surveying properties, so doing legal land surveys. Then I went into construction, building homes. And then after that point, I was working for Daytona. There's a little bit of a real estate crash in 2014. They basically said they knew I wanted to go to sales. And they said, do you want to go to sales or see you later kind of thing?
Yeah.
So I went to sales. I really didn't like new home sales because I could only sell their product, right? And I had a lot of people that wanted to go. They were motivated, but I could only sell Daytona's products. So I got my real estate license. And a lot of people don't understand when you get real estate license, you're building a business. You have to build a client base. People aren't just just because you post a video on Facebook saying, hey, I'm a realtor now, they're not going to start calling you. So it's tough, man. The first year was really tough. I was fortunate enough to meet my business partner, Kenny Kunkel. Great guy. We clicked actually at training, and then we started a website called Edmonton House Hunters. And then it kind of blew up from there. It's been a constant battle, building a business, but you got to love what you do. And we really love it. And I think the biggest turning point for me in my business was handing the keys over to my first client, which was actually a good buddy from high school. He bought a house from me, and watching the whole transaction, it was smooth. It was good. Seeing that smile and seeing that guy who stepped into his first house, man, that was it's heartaking. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So that was huge. Today, we are at Remax Select, biggest office in the city. And last year, actually, we got top 25 in the office. So that was a big goal of ours, which we just reached. So that was really excited. But we've got a lot of big plans for the future. And the one thing that I can say that our business really brings to the table is open honesty. And that's the biggest thing. We're transparent. Never thought I would be a real estate agent ever in my life, but I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. I love it. I love it, love it, love it.
When was that kind of shift? A lot of people our age are always kind of experimenting with a lot of different things, and they're in their university, and if they don't know, they'll just keep doing more school. When was that turning point for you where you were like, okay, this is where I'm gonna just go hard at. And this is the industry.
Like yourself, I want to work for myself. You have to be extremely motivated. You have to love what you do. I'm going to say that a lot in this podcast. You have to love what you do. You got to be committed, but I wanted to work for myself because at the end of the day, I have a very creative mind, and I always want to be doing my own thing. And I want to bring my value to the table as much as I can. So I know that I wanted to work for myself. No, I didn't know how. Real estate was an amazing opportunity for me to be able to do that because you're running your own little mini business, right? So no matter what I was going to get into, and I always tell my girlfriend this, Emily, I was like, if I wasn't in real estate, I'd be in another business just because I love the atmosphere of it. I love the late nights. The highs are high and the lows are low. That's the one thing that you got to get used to in business. Like, you can make a lot of money one month and then the next 2 months you're broke. So that you got to get really used to. But the thing is the freedom of having your own business and being self-employed. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I really wouldn't. You're the maker of your own destiny, and I really think that it's something to strive for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like that you touched upon that but it's also like you said, the highs are high and the lows are low. Yeah. Right. And especially in this era right now, being your own boss is glorified. Yeah. Entrepreneurship is glorified, and it's like, why don't you just work for yourself and fuck the 9 to 5? But I feel like the 9 to 5 is a lot easier. And the people that aren't on that side of things, on being your own boss and being self-disciplined, it's more than just, hey, I'm my own boss and I make my own money and I write my own checks. It's like your late nights. It's the months that you don't make money. It's the weeks where nothing is going right. Yep. And and I know this because I know friends that are like, man, I want to start my own thing. Yeah. And it's like, dude, I totally support you in that, but you have to be willing to bleed your eyes out for a while before things start to be where you think it's going.
Patience.
Right?
Patience.
So
that's a big thing. I think, you're right. It's totally glorified. Being an entrepreneur, you guys got like Gary Vee and all those Instagram stars that are just pumping out, you got to love what you do, you got to do entrepreneurship. That's all good. You got to have drive for it. Mm-hmm. It's hard. Yeah. It's extremely hard. Yeah. It is not easy. It is not a walk in the park. You have to be patient. Rome was not built in a day. Yeah. It was not. You have to take the time. You have to put in the effort. You're not gonna post something on Instagram or Facebook, or you're not gonna get that deal and then all of a sudden you're a millionaire. Yeah. That's not how it happens. You need to have the experience. And that goes into what I really want to mention. And this goes for all business. This goes for everything. Find yourself a mentor. Seriously. If you are trying to do everything yourself, YouTube is a great thing. It really is. You can learn a lot on YouTube, but you need someone who's done it. Things have changed. My dad was in real estate. He was very successful. How we get business is much differently, but the core of it's the same. So if you can have someone in your back pocket already to answer those phone calls, like at the first year of real estate, I was calling my dad 3 times a day, if not more. And to have that is very valuable because 1, you're going to make less mistakes. 2, you're gonna see the plan unfold, and it's not going to be a surprise when things happen. So if you can find yourself a mentor of whatever business that you're in, extremely, extremely valuable.
I agree. Yeah, and I feel like, and that's something that a lot of people kind of overlook. Yeah, or at least think that they'll do it themselves and they'll find a way, but I feel like another thing too is a lot of people aren't made to be their own boss. And and if you can find that where, for example, you could walk into a business and be like, you know what? I really like the vision, the mission. I like what these guys are doing, and be the 2 or the 3. Yeah. Because 1, that doesn't put all the pressure on you. Yeah. You can go home and sleep at night knowing that you're going to get paid. Number 2, you're not having to be responsible for the last call. And a lot of people don't understand that. It's like, you don't have to, you could be in a company and be the top, the number 2 or the number 3 or the number 4. Yeah. And you could live really, really well. Yep. And you could be part of a team that's running and successful, and you could have people that really support you. Yep. Versus trying to do your own thing. Yep. And again, I'm not deterring people from not doing it. I'm just saying that you have to find out who you really are.
Surround yourself with like-minded people. Yeah. I mean, I would have no problem at all working for someone else if they see the potential in me. if they see the worth and the value in me.
Yeah.
And you have to recognize that. You know what? The proof is in the pudding, man. You put in the work, people are going to look at that. And so say you want to start your own business, but you get an opportunity from someone that has been in the business and they're offering you a job. If they see the opportunity and they're willing to let you grow, you got to grow. Because the worst part that I see with people that are employed, you get stuck. And it's not in your control to get to the point that you want to be. You might be driven, you might put in the work, you might do this, but it's not your choice on where you want to go. If they're willing to let you grow, ride the roller coaster, man.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
I think knowing and also a company that has a little bit of a blueprint of like, okay, if you do these things, this is where you're going to head to, or this is the position that you could potentially be at, or get shares in the company, or whatever it is. Like if there's a ladder in terms of where that potential could be, then I argue that, it might be even better to just work with a team that you're already good with, people that you're good with. If you see the vision, I would argue that it's sometimes it's better for people not to be their own boss and work for a team that they can really thrive in.
Well, you know what, man, I'm going to mention this too. I'm a partnership. I'm part owner of Edmonton House Hunters. I got Kenny. I never thought in a million years that I would be have a partner. Yeah. But when I met him, we vibe together so well. We trust each other. We're so honest, and we become brothers, man. Kenny's having his first kid here pretty soon, and it's really special because it's like, wow, you know what? I never would have been in this guy's life if I didn't get in real estate. We met at the office. Yeah. And now that this kid's coming, it's just like out of the picture, but still, it's really special because if you can, like you and Kenny. Yeah. Right? It's hard when you do things by yourself. We both have
Kennys in our life.
I know. We both got Kennys, dude. It's cool. And actually, Kenny knows Kenny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah. They did jujitsu together. It's a small world, man. Yeah, it is. But if you can find a partner, because, the like-minded people, then you're going to fight. A little bit. You're going to fight. I mean, me and Kenny, we've never had really any big fights because you got to listen. So being your own boss can be difficult sometimes because you can get caught up in your own head sometimes. You need different opinions on things because the way you see the world is not necessarily the way someone else sees it. So to get different opinions from someone that necessarily, because I'll say this as well, is if you are in a partnership with yourself, you actually might butt heads. Me and Kenny are very different in a lot of ways, but alike in some. So the collaboration between us both has made me a better realtor, better person, and I never thought in a million years that I would have a partner. But I'm very lucky to have Kenny because we just work so well together. So I mean, if you're starting a business or you're going into a company, you got to make sure that you're surrounded by like-minded people that are willing to let you grow and listen to your voice. Right?
100%. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. Seems like we all have like that one person who's that Kenny who's like super close and like is a partner. But man, I totally agree. I think there's a certain, I've been in a couple partnerships and one thing I realized is that it's not all sunshine and rainbows. And you have to really be careful in terms of who you partner with. And like you said, like with my Kenny, we're opposite in a lot of ways, but we're also similar in certain aspects, and we work very well together. It's really weird because we're opposite in a lot of scenarios and a lot of things, but it works really well, especially with the podcast. So I agree with you, man. Yeah. Let's talk about kind of, a little bit of real estate, a little bit of investing stuff that your bread and butter.
Let's get into it.
At our age, guys, like you said before the pod, they don't have a house, or they haven't been able to invest in property because they just don't have the money. Finances are bad. Things just keep coming up. Tuition for universities on the rise every year. Like in your experience, talk a little bit about that. About that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, if you're living at your parents', stay there. Stay at your parents' as long as you possibly can. Don't go out and start renting just because you want to get out of your parents. No one likes to be in their parents' house. You might have a great situation there, but I get it. Like I had a great home life. I love staying at home, but you want to get out on your own. So first of all, I tell a little bit about just my story, rather than preaching to the choir kind of thing, right? I bought my house with my girlfriend. I wouldn't have been able to buy my house without my girlfriend. I could have got something much smaller, but it's hard, man. Saving money is extremely hard. So right now, I think the biggest thing that I can get across to people is a mortgage is like a forced savings plan. You've heard me say that before. And the way that I think about that is if you are renting, you are paying somebody else's mortgage. If you are living at home, don't go out and rent because you're just going to be throwing that money out the door that you could have saved for a down payment on a home. And it's not as unaffordable as you think. So I'll quickly get into numbers just really quickly. Right now in Canada, you need 5% down on whatever you're buying. And then you need an extra percent the lenders like to see for closing costs, okay? So and typically for on a mortgage, for every $100,000 you're spending, it's going to be about $500 on your mortgage. So, for example, I have a $350,000 house. We pay with utilities, insurance, and a mortgage. Everything's about I think $2,300, $2,400 a month. Okay, between the two of us, it's very affordable. The biggest thing, I could go on and on, but I think get into property as soon as you can. Just do it because it forces you to save money. You're putting equity into your home that eventually you're going to get out of it. So if you're throwing away your money renting, and I get it, everyone's situation is different. If you're a student and you travel a lot and it's just not right for you right now, dude, all the power to you. That's all good. But if you're sticking around, you already have a career, you know that this is where you're going to be, buy a house. The worst that's going to happen is you're going to rent it out or you're going to sell it. And there's nothing wrong with having rental properties. That's a very, very good thing to have right now. Many, many people that I know have gotten very wealthy off of just accumulating rental properties. People pay the rent for you. Like I said, if you're renting, you're paying somebody else's mortgage, right? So the most common issue, obviously, that we see is people having to save money. You know, you need not just your down payment, you need a little bit of money left over as well because owning a house, it's a living, breathing thing. You need to take care of it. Mm-hmm. But one of the things I will mention, if you're a young person and you're having troubles just getting into something that you want, look at some income properties. Look at some properties that have basement suites. We're all talking, we're going to talk about investing here in a bit. That is a amazing starting point that I've mentioned before in my videos that, people really should be looking at. If you, like, say you're a young couple, and you can't necessarily quite afford what you want right now, buy an income property where you can maybe rent out your basement. It's going to pay most likely more than half of your expenses. You're going to be saving some extra money. Buy something else in 3-4 years, rent out the other part. You have an income property, and then you're in the house that you want within a very minimal time period. And then you're going to be having a paid off rental property later on in your life. That's a retirement fund, man. Yeah, I'm talking too much. I could get into
I love it, man. I'm listening. I love the advice because I was the same way in many instances.
Well, you just bought your first place.
I did, I did.
Congrats on that, by the way.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
October, I bought my first place, but that was out of sheer saving a good year's worth of my salary.
Good for you, though. Good for you.
I had to, and I'm not good at saving either.
Yeah.
I had to really. I basically had to. I was at my parents', same thing, like you said. So I wasn't paying rent. I wasn't helping with that. Mm-hmm. I was helping around the house. I was paying for other things, mm-hmm. but I literally had to every month. I would look at my bank account, mm-hmm. and I would say, okay, today it's going to get over 10,000. Mm-hmm. My savings are going to be 15,000, 20,000, 30,000. And I'd literally have to say, okay, you're not going out. When you go out, you're having a water and an appetizer.
It's tough.
Yeah, literally. And it felt horrible because it's like you're going to these spots, you want to hang out with your homies, you want to, drink, have a good time, but you discipline yourself and say, you know what, instead of having that old fashioned, I'm going to have a water. Yeah. Instead of having that $50, $60 steak, I'm going to stick with the $20 burger. Yeah. And I did that for so long. I gritted my teeth for so long just to see the numbers in my bank account go up. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, this is for a reason of, okay, you're going to move out,
Yeah.
you're going to buy a spot.
Yeah.
All this hard work and discipline
Yeah.
is for that.
Yeah.
And that allowed me comfortably to get a place without having to feel like, oh shit,
Yeah.
if I buy this spot, I'm broke. No,
Yeah.
I have enough money where I can, if I don't work for 6 months, I'm okay. My mortgage will be fine.
Yeah.
You know, and I really had to I had to grit my teeth, and it's one of those things. So you just have to grit your teeth and do it.
It's not easy.
No.
It's not easy at all. But I mean, it's actually, it doesn't take as long as you think it would. It depends. Like if you're on a fixed income, obviously it is a little more difficult because you do have to make sacrifices, but, like being an adult, sometimes it's not very fun. You know what I mean? It's not like, I mean, a lot of times where I want to go to Banff or I want to go, on a trip or something, and it's like, I got a mortgage to pay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, yes, you have to live your life. Yes, you have to travel. Yes, you got to go do those things, but you also have to think for the future. I'm sorry, but you do. To have a mortgage, to have property that you own, lenders see that, credit card companies see that. You are building a portfolio for yourself that is going to benefit you in the future, which people really don't understand that part of it.
Yeah.
And you got to think about, if you are paying your mortgage, some of it does go to interest, but if I'm paying $1,900 on my mortgage, at least, $1,500 is going to be going into the equity in my home. Well, think about every single year that I'm putting that money away. That's going into my house. It's a forced savings plan. And I think I can't express that enough. People, especially young people nowadays, we're all about, how do I make money? How do I make money? Look at the richest people in the world, and there's very few things on how to get very, very rich. We always look at famous people, but really look at the billionaires of the world. Real estate, stock market, or some type of business blow up. Most of it is real estate. Almost all of it is real estate. And you have to be extremely educated to do it. You need to educate yourself on it. And getting a good deal on something doesn't mean, we were just talking about this.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you're going to get $100,000 off on a house. You need a good realtor, man. You need a good real estate agent or family in the business, man. If you have a dad or a mom that's, been really educated and done very well in real estate, listen to them. Listen to them, because you're going to pay off in the future.
Yeah, that's great advice, man.
Yeah.
I can't agree more.
Yeah.
And I think being able to save is one thing. I mean, that's the first step.
Yeah.
Right. And then finding a good realtor, finding good property, property where you can. And like for me, like the property that I bought it with a friend. Right. It's a partnership. It's a partnership that we talked about. It's something that I'm seeing as an investment property. I'm not planning to stay there for 10, 15 years. It's more so, okay, I'm going to, this is a good starting spot. We're going to,
But you started.
Yes.
But you started.
Yes.
That's the thing. And that actually is a really good point. And I want to talk about that. If you have a friend, you could be buying a basement suite if you want to be separated, or buy the house together. You started.
Yes.
It's not the $1 million house that eventually that you want. May not have the big backyard and a hot tub and all that stuff, but you started. And you are going to be thanking yourself in 5 years from now, or 3 years, 10 years, whenever you buy something else, because you're probably going to use that as a rental property.
Exactly. Yeah. And that was the exact, when we got into it, we were like, I could have easily bought something for myself, and that was the plan. And then, I had my friend Eric come my way, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm looking to move out too." And if we find something, maybe we just, you're single, I'm single.
Yeah.
We don't have like a spouse or someone that we're responsible for.
Yeah.
Why don't we see if we can buy a property together that might be out of our budget individually? Yeah. But together we could buy it.
Exactly.
And so that's what happened. And again, it's sacrifices, right? A lot of people, again, when they move out, they want their own privacy, or they want the $1 million home, or they want luxuries immediately. Yeah. And just from my experience, sacrificing it, knowing that in the long term, it's gonna benefit me. Yeah. That property is gonna benefit me. It's gonna put more money in my account, make me a little wealthier, right? And again, sacrificing with living with somebody else. Yeah. Right. And a lot of people, again, they might not want to do that. There's it's uncomfortable. They want their own privacy.
Yeah.
So again, it's all depending on who you are and what you want to do. But
Yeah.
if the goal is to really set yourself up
Yeah.
in 10, 15, 20, 30 years, you have to make certain sacrifices.
There's different options, man. There's
exactly.
like we could talk honestly, I could talk to you for 3 hours about all the different options. The best thing that you can do, and I'm not preaching it at all, is just, call your realtor. We would love to deal with you, but call a trusted real estate agent. They need to have your best interest. It's very easy nowadays to determine value on something and all that stuff. I have a computer program. My MLS system is all on my laptop. So you have to trust your real estate agent. You have to know that they're within your best interest. Okay. Deal with someone that you really know, and explore the options.
Yeah.
There's not just one way to do things. There's many different options for you to pursue. And I think, we were going to talk about investing a little bit too.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Well, I think, I touched on it a little bit before. I don't see enough young people buying income properties. And they're so cheap right now. They're so cheap. And yes, you're going to have someone living in your basement. Or if you buy a full duplex, you're going to have someone living next to you. But the rewards in the long run of this are so amazing that I want to encourage more people to be doing this. So a lot of people want to make money at a young age. And they're like, how do I do this? I need to buy a house. I can't necessarily afford what I want, but I want to have rental properties. Well, it's not easy when you buy your house, like your first house. Say you bought your house with your girlfriend and then you want to just buy a rental property. Lenders, banks aren't necessarily very favorable for you just buying a rental property, right? But there are a little more favorable if you already are in an income property. It's very easy to rent out, and then you're going to be upgrading in the next, X amount of years. You have that as your rental property. They're way more likely to be giving you the funds on your new. So that is a wonderful option for people to start investing in real estate at a young age. Also construction guys. There's a lot of dudes in Alberta that know how to run wire, that know how to do drywall, know how to paint, do general construction and cosmetic of houses. The flip market, it's pretty good in Edmonton. It's not what it used to be right now, just because of house prices right now. It's very good to buy. It's not so good to sell right now. But you can be looking into flipping as well. There's so many options with real estate. Mm-hmm. It's much more calculated than something like the stock market. I guess I shouldn't say that because I'm not a stock market guru. There's guys that know that really well. But you can really calculate the real estate market so that you're making money. It doesn't come up often. You have to find the right deals, but you can make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you got to love it.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you on all those fronts, man. There's multiple ways to do things. Yeah. Just depends on what you want to do. Yeah. Right. And how you want to build your wealth at the end of the day. But yeah, like in terms of for you, how do you kind of, manage, because a lot of people have different opinions on like real estate and like investing and stocks and starting your own business and being your own boss, right? It's like all these things are so like, I want to do it. How does someone kind of start if they want to get into what's the number one thing that they have to do if they want to start their own business? Mm-hmm. They don't want to work for their employer. And then 2, getting into the real estate game. Yeah, let's get into that. Let's get into the starting business and that kind of stuff. Yeah. I love that stuff. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think you have to love it and you got to try, and you're not going to know if you love something unless you try it. You have to get out there. Like you guys, imagine looking back on the first video you ever shot. Right? Yeah. I look back at the first real estate video that I ever did and I'm going, oh my God. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you gotta, find something that you love. I mean, if you can find even something that, a hobby, I'm talking about more of a side hustle right now than your main business. Yeah. But even if it's your main business, you have to love what you do. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to love everything about your business. I hate paperwork. There's a lot of part of real estate. I'm like, oh my God, I have to do that today. But for the most part, I absolutely love it. I love waking up in the morning, and I love going to work. And it's very exciting when you are your own boss because you control the amount of potential you have, right? So I think the thing that you got to start with is
Pick what you want to do. You have to love it. You have to have an interest in it. You have to love it to your core. Find a mentor. I personally, I think that is extremely, extremely important. How you structure that mentorship, that's up to you, but to find someone that has done what you're about to do and to give you the advice and walk you through it is so, so valuable. Even just to call them when you have a question. It's gonna limit failure. There is no failure, it's just learning, but it's gonna limit it's gonna make your successes bigger, right? So find a mentor. I think that I can't express that enough. Like if I didn't have my dad, there's no way I would be where I am now, because it would have took a lot longer, right? It's gonna be a lot more learning experiences. And yeah, I mean, find a mentor, do what you love. And as far as risks go, because business is all about risks, all of it, right? And a lot of it comes down to finances as well. Make calculated decisions. I read this book called the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. It's an extremely good book, and it's a lot of business aspects in there as well. And they talk about the red light, green light method. And this is an extremely widely used method in business. And what that basically means is, okay, when you have the revenue, when you have the money coming in, and you have enough money to spend on some new advertising or some new methods of business, and you want to start investing, green light, spend the money, see how it works. Okay, is it profitable? See how it does. Don't just dump a bunch of money into something that might not work. Green light. Okay, it's starting to work. We can keep spending money on that. It's a good expense. Okay, now we don't have as much money. Red light. Look at what's not necessarily working. Maybe cut back a little bit. That method is extremely important. And I didn't understand that in business at the start. I thought, oh, maybe I need to take out $100,000 business loan and drop a bunch of money into this stuff. That's not necessarily the best way to go about it, right? And I think that goes for any business as well. It's not just real estate. Yeah. That's how I would run any business. If I were to quit real estate today and go into something else tomorrow, I would follow the same method.
Yeah, that's a great method.
Yeah.
Touching back to your mentor's part, when I finished my undergrad, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. My things, my side business with the videos and stuff it was doing well.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if I wanted to just, pour gasoline on it and go full on into it. And so I was exploring options of like going into dentistry, optometry, maybe becoming a doctor, that type of thing. And so what I did was I dipped into my network, and I also reached out to people that weren't in my network, optometrists in the city.
Yeah.
That I was like, hey, like I'm so-and-so, I'm a student at the U of A. I want to understand the day-to-day functions of what you guys do. And there was three of them didn't respond, but there was one girl who recently just became an optometrist full-time. And she's like, hey, I'd love to have a coffee with you. Let's talk. So we had a coffee. We talked, and I was like, I'm kind of exploring optometry. I'm not sure. And then she was like, well, why don't you come to the clinic on Monday and just spend a couple hours with me and see if you like what I do day to day. So I went there in the morning. I literally went from, it was from 9 to like noon.
Yeah.
Spent a couple hours with her. And I realized that it was boring as hell, and I didn't like it.
Didn't you have her on the podcast?
Huh?
Didn't you have someone on the podcast that was in dentistry?
Oh yeah, dentistry, yes. But this is optometry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, wrong thing. Yeah.
Yes, I did have my good friend Noor on the podcast for dentistry. I didn't end up doing any mentor, like I didn't end up reaching out to mentors for dentistry. I just kind of crossed that off the list.
Okay, yeah. But you learned that you didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I ended up going, and this is a random girl that we're not close.
Yeah.
We're not close at all. Like I had no idea, like we're strangers, and she was like, hey, yeah, just come to the clinic.
Most people are kind though.
Most people are kind if you reach out.
Kind, yes.
Right? If you reach out,
yes.
And who knows, if I really was like, wow, this is amazing, I want to learn more, she could have maybe been my mentor down the road.
Yep.
She was willing to have a coffee with a random student.
Yeah.
So I encourage anyone who's looking to get into any industry and there's a big question mark.
Yeah.
Reach out to some people, and I guarantee you there's somebody that's going to be like, hey, you know what? Come to my office, we'll chat.
Yeah.
So
business is about money. It is. The red light, green method, like take that and run with it. Seriously, it's the best way to calculate revenue and your expenses. But the thing that I do want to talk about with mentorship, especially with real estate, it's cutthroat. It is cutthroat. Not a lot of people will tell you how they get their business, and a lot of agents. There's so many egos, man. It is just, I'm the best, I'm number one, that kind of thing, right? So that's frustrating, and that's in a lot of business. But to me, find like-minded people. I mean, there is a new agent that started at our office. She called me at like 10 o'clock on a Saturday or something, and I'm going, who the heck is this? And she had questions about everything. I gave her my entire business plan. I let her know everything. Why? My opinion on the way it works. Now, I'm not going to just let you eat. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to do everything.
This isn't a charity, right?
No, exactly. Exactly. But what goes around comes around, brother.
Absolutely.
In business and in life, you guys are all about that, and I love you and Kenny's vibes. But that is karma, man. It is not a fake butterfly type thing. It is a real thing. What you do to people, what you do in business, what you do in life, it comes full circle. So if you are willing to share your knowledge in a business, it's going to come back to you. And I believe that if someone's starting out a business and they're looking for help them. Because eventually it will pay off for you. If someone's not willing to help you and they're wanting a big chunk of your pie, really? Obviously there has to be a little consideration. How you structure that, I don't know. But what goes around comes around, man. Surround yourself with your mentor, like-minded people. Love what you do. See how they see what they love. I mean, if they are so egotistical and so pent up, they probably don't love what they do, and they shouldn't be in the business anyway. Yeah. Right? I
agree.
Yeah.
No, I love that, man. I think even, touching back on, you gave this girl your entire business plan.
Yeah.
I agree with you, man, because not only that, but if you think about it, a lot of people, you can give people advice. You could literally give them the handbook of like step by step. This is how you be successful in this industry. But whether they do it or not is out of your control. And a lot of people don't actually execute. That's what I've realized. And this is going with people that I know, and I'm not going to name any names. But I've literally given gems of like strategies in terms of what we've done. In terms of what me and Kenny have done on the podcast. And they, if they've asked questions, they're people that I know, people that I've known for years. And I'm literally giving it to you on a silver platter on how to start your own podcast, or how to do this, or how to make videos, or whatever the case.
They don't want to eat.
They don't want to eat, but they don't take action on it.
No,
so it's like I could give you my entire playbook. You're probably not going to execute like me.
No.
So that being the case, like when people ask me for advice or people ask me for certain things, to a certain extent, I give it to them. Because I'm like, you know what? Like, that's cool, man. I hope that it helps you. But that advice will only go so far until you execute.
It's true. And you got to do it. Like, you are a filmmaker and you're amazing at what you do. And I've made my own little films, with real estate, right? And looking back at the first video I did, I know I talked about this, but the first video I did, it is so cringeworthy. I mean, it's so laughable, right? And it has taken me hundreds of videos to shoot and edit through countless amount of hours to get to the point where I'm pretty happy with my content. And you got to do it. That goes with any business. And don't be afraid to fail. Don't hurt anybody. Always be honest. Always be transparent. But don't be afraid to fail, because it's not a failure. It's a learning experience. Everybody says that. No, parents, everybody always says that. But seriously, you are going to learn the most within your failures. And that's where change happens. That's where it happens. You're not just successful. That doesn't happen. It never does. And frankly, I'm glad that's the way it not happens. It's those low points that makes those high points so sweet. Right?
I totally agree, man.
It's true.
I love your ethics, man.
Thanks, dude.
I think it's great advice. I think people really need to take into account a lot of those things. But in terms of just going back, kind of execution, because there's a lot of opportunity, right? And I call it, it's like there's we're drowning in opportunity, right? You look at this, you look at everything, you listen to podcasts like this, you listen to people that are like killing it and they're telling you all this advice and you're like, whoa, what should I do? How should I go about certain things? But I feel like, and I said this in an episode before, but deciding is a big thing. Just making the decision on being like for you, for example, you decided, you know what, I'm going to go into real estate and I'm going to fucking kill it. Yeah. And I'm going to learn everything about the business and I'm going to learn and if I hate certain parts, I hate it, but I'm going to take what it is, what it is. Yeah. Same thing with me. I decided, I want to make content. I want to be I want to make movies and I want to make videos. And I see, the opportunity in that and creating, marketing material and all that. And I said, you know what? Fuck optometry, fuck all that. I ain't gonna do what I want. I'm just gonna whatever happens. Yeah. And I'm gonna do it because I know that I love more of it than I hate the other side of it, right? Yeah. And I think that's the decision. I'm not looking back now. I'm not going back and saying, you know what, I'll probably go back to into optometry or dentistry in a couple of years if this doesn't pan out. No, I make a decision. It's gonna work. Yeah. I make it work. Yeah. So that's one thing too. Is like the advice we give people on the podcast is there's a lot of ways to make money. There's a lot of ways to invest. There's a lot of ways to do great things. Yeah. But just pick one and just go at it and don't look back.
Yeah. And 2 points. Yeah. That I just came to my mind when you were talking. Money's not everything. I'm not saying that. And I know you're not saying that. Yeah. And I've heard you guys say it on lots of your podcasts. Money's not everything. It's about lifestyle. It's about the dream. It's about happiness, mind, body, spirit. I'm a huge believer in all three of those. Mm-hmm. If one of them is off, the whole thing is off. You have to have some type of a spiritual side, no matter what it is. Be in tune with yourself. You got to stay healthy because in business, I've learned, holy crap, you can get fat pretty easily in real estate, man. You got to stay in shape, bro. Yeah. And then. Yeah, mind, body, spirit. So you got to stay in shape. You got to keep your mind active, and connect with everything, right? And then the other point that I did want to make too. Oh man, now I forget it. What were you talking about?
I was saying the opportunity cost. Like stick to one thing.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so the biggest point that I want to make, and I can't express this enough. Yeah. Stick to one thing. And get good at it, get great at it, get amazing at it. Yeah. Because a lot of people, and in real estate, this is what we see all the time. I'm a real estate agent, a mortgage broker, and I'm also part of the World Financial Group.
That's jokes, man. That's so funny.
If you are doing all of these things, you better have a team of 5 to 10 people. Straight up. Because there's no way that you are doing all of this. Yeah. I'm strictly a real estate agent. And I'm working my bag off every single day. Stick to one thing, and once you get amazing, great at it, if you have a team, then maybe you can venture off into something else. But you have to be amazing at what you're doing first, right?
Oh man, can't agree anymore, bro.
Right?
That's one of those things, man. It's tough because I've seen guys go from every 2 years they're switching careers, man. Yeah. And it's so painful to watch. Yeah. And I get it. There's a time for like exploration. Oh yeah, there's a time to kind of test the waters and taste different things and try different things. But man, at a certain point, you got to decide what you want to dominate. Yep. The earlier you make that decision, the further along you're going to be. Yeah. The longer it takes you to, I'm going to try this I'm going to try real estate for 2 years. I'm going to try filmmaking for 2 years. Yeah. I'm going to try coaching for 2 years. Again, I'm not saying don't try these things, but the earlier you find that thing that you really, really like, stick with it and don't look back.
Exactly. You know what I mean? How many hours, there's an expression, and I don't know the expression off the top of my head, but how many hours does it take to get good at something or make something a habit, right? It's your day-to-day, what you were talking about before. That's a very widely talked about subject. You got to love your day-to-day. You got to love that. You can't be switching it up all the time. Routine is very important. I've learned that in this business. Routine's important. I can't be sleeping in one day till 1 o'clock and then, up at 8 the next day. It screws with my sleep schedule, first of all. And then you need that routine. Once you get into that routine, things become a lot easier, right? And yeah, specialize. And if you don't know something, ask. Don't bullshit. Never bullshit. Because people can smell it, people can read it on you, and it's not going to take you anywhere. Lying, manipulation, anything like that. We have a conscience for a reason. Use it, right? So always act with your heart. If you don't know something, you're not meant to know everything. It's okay not to know things, but strive to learn. Like I can't stand guys who have been in a business for 30, 40, whatever, how many years, and they think they know it all. You don't. You haven't been through everything. Yes, I respect your wisdom. Yes, I respect everything you have been through, but don't act like you know everything, because guess what? The young guy coming in too, that's willing to learn, might have some really good points.
I agree.
That's what technology is changing the world.
I agree.
Right?
I agree. It's very easy to just close off
Yep.
that because you think you know certain things. I have a good friend, Raj. He runs Pivotal Physio,
Cool.
in the city, and you know he is like he learns from everyone.
Yeah.
From the youngest guy to the oldest people. He listens before he makes decisions, and it's crazy to see because he can interact with us.
Yeah.
On a very like visceral level.
Yeah.
And then he can interact with people twice his age.
Yeah.
At a very, very high level.
That's
and
rare.
And that's why I feel like that's one of the factors he's successful with, because he understands, okay, I can learn something from Omid.
Yeah.
You know, I can learn something from this older lady here who comes in and says certain things.
Yeah.
And being able to just use your ears before you be like, yeah, I know, no, this is how it is. This is how we do things, and that's it. That's how we run stuff. So it's a very important skill to have.
Yeah, it's powerful, and I catch myself doing this a lot of times. It's not that I love to talk, but sometimes I just love to get my opinion out. I just sometimes a little forthright. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
So,
yeah.
but I've really learned, and my dad taught me this: is you got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen, sit back and really think about people, what they have to say, because usually if they just finished what they said and you're quick to respond, take a couple more seconds. You got nothing but time. Really think about the information that's coming in and think about your response, especially in real estate. I'm negotiating hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars every single day. So the negotiating, dealing with clients, dealing with the public, you have to put on a person persona. And you have to be yourself, and you have to think about what's that person really saying, right? Because a lot of times it's how someone says it too. So really think about before you respond, and that goes for again, they're talking about a lot of old people in the business, like in businesses, or stubborn people. You can always learn something new every single day about any business. There's no way that you can 110% understand something. And I'm sorry, that's my opinion. Learning something new in your business or in life every day, it's a gift, man.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, Ross, this is kind of coming to the conclusion, my man.
Cool, buddy.
Let's. Where can people find you if they want to message you about this stuff? If they want to kind of connect with you, plug that in right now.
For sure. Okay. Edmonton House Hunters. That's our website name. You can contact us on our website. My Instagram name's Home Sykes Huskies, so you can check out there for my personal information. But the best way to get a hold of us, go to our website, edmontonhousehunters.net. It's the best website in Edmonton to search for property. We have spent countless amount of hours refining this search engine. It's got every single house in the Edmonton real estate market. So that includes all sub areas in Edmonton around on the website. So you can search any single house that you're looking for on the same site. So check it out on there. We'd love to help you guys out. Omid, thank you so much for having me on. I applaud you guys so much, what you guys are doing, your drive. People do not understand how much work you guys put in. It's incredible. You guys both have your own jobs, and you guys still manage to pump out amazing content and learning how to thrive and how to survive. I love it.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. And definitely, guys, make sure to go check out Ross. We're going to have all the plugins in the description, and make sure to reach out for him for any of your real estate investing needs, or if you just want to connect with him. So, Thanks, man. For coming
No worries.
on. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.